Ultimately, at its very core, Carbon Upcycling is a company that's enabling the infrastructure for a circular carbon economy.
We take gaseous CO2 and sequester it into inorganic solid powders, and then we use those end materials in various industries from concrete and plastics to pharmaceuticals and solar panels.
The intent was to solve a meaningful portion of the climate change problem with a solution that had economic merit and potential for wide market adoption. There's been a lot of discussion at the policy level ever since the Kyoto Protocols in the early 90s about why carbon needs to be sequestered, and we need to have a better way of dealing with carbon emissions from anthropogenic sources. However, that policy discussion and that awareness of how much of a problem this is has not necessarily translated to meaningful action on the ground. If we're going to have any chance of meeting the goals that policymakers around the world have put aside for 2050 or 2100, we absolutely need to be working at the fastest rate possible and taking whatever action we can today and accelerating the rate of that action over the next decade. With the reactor that we have behind us, we're scaling up and commercializing an enhanced fly ash, where the fly ash has been chemically activated to capture CO2. As the reactor spins the fly ash, we inject CO2. Ball bearings coated with a catalyst speed up the chemical reaction. As the ball bearings rise and fall, the motion breaks up the fly ash and roughs up the surface so that more CO2 can be absorbed. Our material has shown a lot of promise just from a technical validation perspective in a range of different applications.
At Carbon Upcycling Technologies, we're working with 3 of the largest cement and concrete producers in the world. We're working with them to engage in material evaluation and ultimately looking to commercialize our technology at scale. It is our ambition to be the most impactful carbon tech company of this decade and ultimately move towards our goal of reducing CO2 emissions by 600 million tons by 2050.
We don't see ourselves as the end product. We see ourselves as the enabler of a carbon economy where people are being efficient with carbon the way we're trying to be with water and other resources that we're running out of. We believe that they're exactly the type of things that are going to drive us into what we call the carbon age, or this age where instead of looking at information or some of these other minerals that have defined humanity's progression so far, we'll be looking at closing the carbon loop around the world and creating a more sustainable economy for us all.